Basil. Hi, naughty man. Yeah. Okie dokie.
Also, this cost me just $4. This cost me just $4.
What is it? Is it
Maitake.
brown? Oh, it's maitake.
Mhm.
Whoa.
Kind of insane.
I'm trying to start our new vlog for the weekend, because it's Friday that we're starting this.
Mitzi!
I love you. I love you. I do. Oh, you look so cute. She's a good girl. You look so cute, and I miss you. I miss you so much. I hope you miss me. Oh, Mitzi. Mitzi.
Oh.
Mitzi, like, no. Gia wants you.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, Mitzi. Oh, yeah, Mitzi. I love you so much.
Someone else really wants you, bub.
Is it Kit Kat? Gio! What the heck? You want to smell this? Mushy. Mushy. No? Okay. That's okay.
It's
Mushy.
like, I didn't come here for that.
He's like, huh? Hi, Gio. Hi, Gio. Hi, Gio. Do you want to smell the mushy? Smell it. You just want the plastic.
Oh.
She's like, huh. I don't know about that. Okay. That's okay. Demi, you want to smell the mushy? Okay. Kit Kat! Kit Kat! Kit Kat! Fucking Kit Kat. Anyways, I love you, Mitzi. Basil! Basil, you want to smell the mushy? Kit Kat, you want to smell it? Yeah. Lolly! Lolly, you want to smell the mushy? Lolly, yeah.
Oh
Oh my
no.
god. She got slapped by his tail.
Howdy guys. I am about to pick up a bunch of stuff because basically we have all the construction materials and everything from the room renovation that I need to go ahead and hi Paprika. I need to go ahead and put away in the garage and like throw out a bunch of stuff. But then I need to press buttons, pack a ton of orders. I think we have around 100 or so, and opening and putting away a bunch of merch and drawing. Those are the game plan for today. It is Friday. I'm trying to see if I can actually get this uploaded like on schedule, like on Monday, as opposed to like waiting another week since our last upload. But we will see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I have to unpack enamel pins, embroidery tags, and buttons. And then our postcards are supposed to get here. Paprika's like sharking me. Hey, our postcards are supposed to get here today, like our new ones that have the rescue information on it, but I don't know if they are because it doesn't say they're out for delivery. I need to work on January postcard and February postcard. We're very late with the January one, I'm so sorry. And then Jasmine's doing the stickers. Yeah, lots to do as always. And that's it. These are our embroidery tags, our JoJo ones. I've been meaning to restock. Got a bunch of these. We got, I think these are enamel pins. Here. And then we got I don't actually, is this buttons? Yeah, it is. Big bag. The Teen Titans. Some Naruto. Yeah. Nothing. We're gonna put away some merch.
Head for the sun, follow your footsteps, edge of the world, right to your doorstep home. Anywhere you wanna go, beyond the stars, out where the sun sets, we'll find the light, we'll keep it our secret home. Anywhere you wanna go, down any road, anywhere you wanna go, I'll show you my world, oh, world. Show
So it actually turns out that there's not enough space in our drawers for the extra buttons. And by not enough space, I mean like there's not like space in the bins. So like all these bins are full, like they have their characters or whatever, but there's no space for the new arcane ones. So I'm gonna utilize this little extra space that the bins don't fit in, and I'm gonna do the same little thing. So we have these plastic dividers that you can like cut and stick however you want, and I'm basically just gonna make some for this side thing because all of these drawers have that, but I just kind of slide extra merch into them. But yeah, we're gonna do that.
So I lost count of how many days it's been, but holy shoot. This is, let me see if I can have better light in here. I don't think so. But this is my second flush. And it looks so much better than my previous one because you've got all these like curves, and the other one was like pretty much flat from the time it was concepted. And I think I figured out how to get it to this level because my bin, well, first of all, because it's a bin, the CO2 tends to sit at the bottom because it's heavier. And so I have a fan, a little fan over there that blows into these little holes, and those holes are pointed towards where the CO2 would be. And because of that fresh air exchange that targets the CO2 specifically and gives them better access to oxygen, I think that's what's helping them be this big bungalow. Wow, wonderful. Oh my god. Those little aborts. And then
It smells like mushroom.
There. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Distractions.
Oh, Pepper.
This fucking tragedy. Wow, that's a huge ass letter. Oh, he.
bought two, so that's kind of consuming. Alright, it's drawing time. Just wanted to take a quick moment to say that this video would not be possible without our sponsor, Paws and Purrs Rescue. Paws and Purrs Rescue is a non-profit group started by Andy and me with a focus to TNR, i.e. trap, neuter, and return, foster from our local humane society, take in strays or cats in need from the streets, and of course, hold our own adoptions. Since we have moved from LA to Texas, we currently don't have a network of fosters lined up to help us. Everything really comes out of our pockets, so if you like the impact that we do, consider supporting us through our online store where we have tons of different kinds of merch, like apparel, lanyards, charms, buttons, patches, you name it. We also have Patreon, a donation link, and a wish list if you'd like to donate things like cat litter and food. While you're in our store link, check out our adoptable cats as well. Spread the word to help these guys get their forever homes. They're so sweet, and I would love to see them thrive in someone's wonderful loving home. Thank you guys so much again for watching our videos. We love reading the comments together. It really helps us continue to do what we do. Everybody needs a bit of moral support, am I right? We won't know that you're here unless you let us know that you're here, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do you guys like my PNG mini-me? It's from our Twitch channel, but we thought it would be fun to include her in here. These guys that I'm drawing right now, I mean, there's only one on the screen, but you'll see the other one later, will be for our cat sticker club and one of our Patreon tiers. Each month gets one kitty, and I've decided that I really want to include some sticker flakes that go along with each of the kitty as well. Die cuts are just so much easier than sheets and a lot less harsh on our printer too, so I figured since we're doing die cuts and not necessarily sheets, I could still do sticker flakes. On top of this, Andy also makes some really cute postcards as well. And what I really like about her postcards, on top of her art in general, is that on the back, you have a place to write to your friend or loved one and mail it as an actual postcard. So it's not just limited to, you know, decoration per se. You could definitely save it and send it over. We're ironing out a proper sustainable schedule for us to get multiple designs done and printed at the same time for a lower cost. I'm talking specifically about the postcards because it hasn't been the easiest thing to do, like the front and back printing. I just love that detail so much, so we're willing to put in that extra effort, but definitely a process in the making. I wonder if some of you guys are I don't know, maybe a little confused about the previous draw footage where I had very rendered arcane buttons and then now seeing this like very cutesy graphic style. I really like flip-flopping between the two. I feel like there's always something my other style can learn from this style or vice versa. So one of the things I need to work on is finding comfort in thicker, more graphic lines with my human subjects. I feel like I tend to get stuck in the habit of thin lines even when I don't mean to, so I'll zoom out and I'll be like oop, and by that time I color, I feel like my colors overpower the lines and there's a disharmony, so I tend to have to do a whole bunch of different things to kind of reel in that harmony again, like painting on top of certain lines. There's definitely a lot of like layers on top of the line art layer that kind of helps fix the things that I couldn't necessarily see during the line art stage. I wonder if that's actually a lot more common than it feels. It's just really easy to get stuck in our own heads as artists and think that like these aren't struggles literally everyone has, you know. So let me know if this is something you also deal with. I think for me, in the simpler styles that I do have, like this, my lines are less shy, and I wonder if that has a lot to do with the fact that when they get printed, they are a lot smaller. You know, like these, I believe, are roughly either 2.5 to 3 inch. I think it's 3 inch, but I would have to double check, and I can't do that right now. So obviously
the way that they're printed is also important, right? Like if you have a whole print that's 11.5 by 11 by 17, and you're drawing with these lines, of course they're going to be thinner, they're going to appear thinner. And so I gotta like rewire my brain to be like, okay, remember the scale and remember to keep it graphic. So yeah, maybe there's like multiple things I have to unpack there, but I think the best of both worlds that I was able to do was my Andreal standees, where the challenge was really to draw humans, but with this style sort of. And I realized I hardly ever do it, and I actually really enjoyed it, because I mean, when you look at that standee, it's mostly flats, and I really had to lean hard on the lines and making sure that the body language was visually interesting, and like the colors were very important, but more in terms of like the colors and what they look like together versus like painting, you know. So I would say it's more similar to the sticker style than it would be to like, let's say like a print style. And I am so happy y'all seem to have loved those so much. I was honestly pleasantly surprised at the traction it got. Hopefully I can pull off more standees in the future. They're actually quite an expense to invest in, and pre-orders are so scary because you never know if the manufacturer will misprint something. So it's a bit daunting, but with the right motivations, maybe. Now I'm drawing shoes, and so shoes aren't necessarily my worst enemy or anything, but I do tend to prefer to do it last. I think because I don't know, it just requires so much focus, right? Like, and shoes are such a make it or break it thing. I guess in my opinion it is. It's one of those details that if it doesn't exist, you don't realize the impact it has until it does exist. Does that make sense? It's one of those like finishing touches that takes something from good to great. And I don't know, I guess that in itself is a little daunting, so I have to, it's not that it's like ridiculously hard, but it definitely takes a lot more focus for me to do, and so I tend to have to do that last so that my brain isn't, I don't know, distracted by other things that I need to line still. Because you know, like it's dictated by the way the knee, or like where the knee is facing, and then there's a plane that it's standing on that you also have to honor, and there's the foreshortening, of course, and then there's just like the design in general with all the different shapes that are in it, and there's functionality, and it goes on and on and on, and it's just, you can tell that it's a little daunting even just by the way that I'm describing it. But speaking of art style, I realized that I am pretty methodical and almost essay logical about the way I approach anything, not just art, but honestly in life too. Versus I envy a lot of people who are very intuitive about life. Like, there are some people who understand the feeling that they achieve one time, and then they can redo that without thinking too hard about it, and with confidence too, because it's like, oh yeah, I know what you're referring to, like that barber meme. People with green thumbs are definitely high on that intuition, or professional sourdough bakers, and of course some artists too. And I realized that for me, I tend to have to really think about it in like bullet points almost. And so my learning process, and even just my process in general, when I'm like going through something from start to finish, feels slower than most, I would say. Of course I wouldn't really know, right? Like, it's not like I've done interviews of people and like watched people draw. Honestly, I should watch people draw more often. I mean, Twitch exists and I'm on Twitch too, so what the heck am I doing? Yeah, what the heck? That is actually, wow, thanks me. Okay, anyways, moving on. I've learned I've learned to be okay with that though, like my own process, because I mean, it's my own brain. Like, obviously we're gonna each take on like information at a different pace in a different way. Just even switching the wording of one sentiment will be offensive to someone or will be helpful to someone, depending on how you absorb that, you know. And you have to be okay with that, and I think I've learned to be okay with that. But it's also important to recognize it so that I don't endlessly wonder why I don't function like somebody else, because it's a really fine line to introspect and then like to accidentally put yourself down a little too hard, and you know, to a point where, I mean, does it even help? Like once you cross that line, I don't know, for me it doesn't really help. It just feels demotivating. So definitely towing those lines and keeping it, I don't know, being introspective along the way has been really helpful for me. So yeah, I really like doing these stickers in batches of 2. Knowing myself, I tend to take longer just to start than to actually finish. Like these take me a maximum of 2 work days and a minimum of 1 work day. Of course, the actual hours within those days fluctuate, keeping in mind that we run a business and a rescue, but the amount of time it weighs in my head is far, far longer. Like I'll be like, oh, I wonder what I should do for the next 2 months on these things, and I'll like stew in it. And yeah, it definitely takes me a lot longer to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna just spend today working on this. And I figured out that because of that, it's better to start 6 times a year and produce the same amount of stickers versus starting individual months 12 times a year. You feel me? Like I'm down for making it feel like half the work, because I'm not taking as much time stewing and like when I'm supposed to start the next batch. So maybe even someday I can upgrade to 3 kitties, or like 3 months per day, or 2 days. And yeah, I think that really helps me a lot. And it might not seem like a lot, but once you live it, that kind of change, albeit small, becomes very significant. The not exhaustion, but like the work fatigue of having to think about work even though you're not working, it does accumulate over time. So it's very important to take a step back, assess if your process is the most efficient process for your mental well-being, and yeah, just accommodate to whatever helps you feel the best. We're going to be cutting these stickers and showing them to you with Andie's postcard as well. I'm very excited because I really like packing our Patreon mail and seeing our art style put together. I really actually love the coat that I did on this kitty. I think I'm gonna wanna have her be a recurring cat in the sticker club. I originally wanted just like a calico, but it turned into something else, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, even when like someone's outfit isn't necessarily orange, there's always still like the slightest tint of orange. That's not on accident. Just making my way downtown. I didn't realize the ISO would be so finicky, depending on how far zoomed in I am or not. I'll have to keep that in mind next time for sure.
Georgie! Pippa! Come here, Pip. I was trying to film doing the postcards.
So these cards are pretty much exactly the same as the ones that we have, but we put like our information about our rescue and stuff on them. So I'm gonna show you guys them because I don't feel like anyone who hasn't bought from our store or like met us at a convention hasn't seen these anyways. So YouTube, you get to see them. This one's kind of messed up, but so these are the backs, and the backs have like all the information on like how to get rid of our packaging. So like either the stuff that's compostable or the stuff that's recyclable. And then these are the fronts. Here, I'll show a better angle. You can see all the thank you for supporting us and Paws and Purrs Rescue. Oh, Bub. So I just realized there's a typo on these. So we're gonna make like stickers to put over the double S so there's another R. It's okay, we only ordered 2,000. But and that's me being sarcastic if you couldn't tell. This will take us a few months to get through. But it also has like our YouTube on it, and like all our other stuff was already there, but our YouTube wasn't. So yeah, I think these are super cute. Howdy guys. So this is actually the second time that I'm recording this and praying that it works okay, because the audio keeps failing on me on my computer. But hi, it's Andy. I don't think you guys, I don't know, do you hear from me a lot drawing wise? I don't think so. It's a lot harder for me to get art out that I'm pleased with. So, you know, it's always a big deal for me when I can feel happy enough, I guess, with something that I make. I'm just a very insecure artist, I guess. I'm like my own worst critic, and it's really nice when Jasmine's like, oh, I love this thing that you did, or people love this thing that you do. And so, you know, she's been helping me a lot with, like, I guess trying to feel more confident in myself, but also like helping me get on track with the things that I want to improve on, things that I like, you know, goals that I have for myself as an artist. Because I think Jasmine's a really, really good teacher for all sorts of things. Like, even if what I want isn't necessarily like her drawing style or things that she does in her own art, she's really good at like breaking things down and like showing me what I should do to get there. So working on these postcards has actually been kind of taking me out of my comfort zone. Like, I've never really been like a full-on illustrator. I do a lot more like graphic work, which is why I do a lot of apparel and that sort of thing. But it's been really nice, actually, especially doing this guy. I was a lot happier than I thought I would be with this postcard. The general theme for January was just kind of being like cozy and warm, because that was basically the life that we were living. Like, well, not so much anymore, but like we had a freeze here, and you know, South Texas can only get so cold, but after last year's like snowstorm and all that stuff, I think we're all a little bit traumatized. I have a heated blanket and just kind of cozying up. Hi, Basil. But yeah, I tried to also make my colors like coincide with Jasmine's sticker, so we could have like a cute little set, you know. I like it when my art is something I would want, you know. And it's sad when you don't necessarily get there. But I'm happy. I'm happy with this guy, and I hope you guys like him too. I hope you guys like the drawing that you've seen this time around. It's been something different. We're trying out all sorts of stuff and getting all sorts of ideas as we like get these videos out with more frequency. The weekly thing that we're doing is kind of wild, man. I didn't think we could do it, but we're doing it. I mean, we are two people, like, right? We should be able to do it. But anyways, thank you so much as always for watching these videos of ours or supporting us in any way that you do. Like, even if it's just like liking an Instagram post or retweeting something on Twitter, it really, you know, it helps us no matter what. So we appreciate it, you know. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to be, first of all, living our dreams. Second of all, living our dreams and rescuing a bunch of cats. You know, it's kind of wild every time I kind of like take a step back to think about it. Like, what? This is our life? But it's all you guys. All right. Thank you so much, as always. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's something nice to like either start your day or finish your day or be productive during, I don't know, whatever you're up to. And yeah, all right. Bye, guys.